In this project, we follow the ownership, control, access, and possession guidelines, which have been established to enable self-determination over research concerning First Nations participants. We speak with elders and community leaders, and all members of the research team are involved in developing frameworks, methods, tools, and reporting strategies. All members of the research team are involved in all aspects of the work, from setting goals and objectives to the dissemination of results. The math that's in our Ontario curriculum is based on a view of mathematics that dates back to 15th century Western Europe. Many students still see math as existing outside of themselves, which can contribute to students' feelings of alienation. If the teacher and the textbook hold all the knowledge, then mathematics doesn't reside within students. They can't form a positive personal relationship with it. In our work, we use culturally responsive instruction to support students to develop a deep understanding of mathematical procedures, skills, and content knowledge. Ethnomathematics is a theoretical framework that focuses on reclaiming mathematics as part of Indigenous culture. It underpins research about how math curricula can and should connect to local culture. Ethnomathematics tells us that the math in the provincial curriculum is only one way of thinking about math. There are other ways of thinking about math that are different too, but as valuable as, school math. One of the primary objectives in this work is to provide an opportunity for Indigenous students to see themselves reflected in their math classes. There are many interpretations of ethnomathematics, but in our work we think about an idea called unfreezing the math. Unfreezing refers to analyzing an Indigenous artifact or activity to identify the mathematics that is inherent in the activity. In our work, we think about creating a bridge between mathematics and Indigenous culture by reconceptualizing cultural activities through mathematical interpretation. This also gives us new ways of thinking about math concepts. For example, in the project with the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan First Nation, we focus on the mathematics inherent in different kinds of beating, which has led us to further our understanding of such math concepts as multiplicative thinking, proportional reasoning, and algebraic reasoning. Another example is our project in Thunder Bay, in which we worked with experts from Fort William Historical Park to explore the geometry of birch bark baskets, focusing on the connection between informal and formal ideas about measuring, congruence, angles, symmetry, and the relationship between 2D nets and 3D objects. What we found is that providing a context for mathematical thinking has allowed students to reflect on the mathematical relationships embedded in the activity. Students are provided with an opportunity to construct deep understanding. They identify the math and extend it through intentional investigations, so it becomes meaningful for them. This website is part of our documentation of what happens when community members, teachers, students, and researchers explicitly work together to mathematize Indigenous activities. Mathematizing is about identifying the math of an activity and relating it to existing math concepts. This has resulted in a wealth of math ideas developed through inclusive and engaging math investigations. Throughout the website, you'll see a variety of examples of these investigations and the kinds of thinking they've supported. For example, number sense and multiplicative thinking, patterning and algebraic reasoning, proportional reasoning, spatial reasoning, measurement, estimation, lines and angles, two-dimensional transformations, and more. Since we began this work, we've used a cyclical framework for engagement and collaboration. Throughout this website, we'll show you examples of what this framework looks like in action. When we begin any project, and at the start of every new cycle, we consult with community members about their goals and aspirations for their children and about what's important to them. The community members share their insights and provide guidance for the project. Then, as a team made up of community members, artists, and non-Indigenous educators, we co-plan classroom instruction. We work with each artist to learn an activity and explore its mathematical potential. The next phase is to have the artist co-teach in the classroom, sometimes with the classroom teacher and sometimes with other community members. You'll see many examples of co-teaching throughout the website. As a research group, we then reflect on what happened during the teaching. This reflection happens in the moment during the lesson, after the lesson, and after each sequence of lessons. We do a lot of reflecting and work together to identify cultural and mathematical connections. Finally, we share what happened with the rest of the community, including parents, other teachers in the school, and more broadly with other educators, as we're doing in this website. We then consult with community leaders to get their guidance about subsequent projects and how to go forward with this work in a good way.